What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 6th episode of the CDub's World of Sports podcast, the absolute best father and son debate podcast.
And everybody, as you can imagine, I'm Dad. We are settling the scores today. We are going to predict the entire 2026 wins and loss records for the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears.
And don't forget the off-court civil war going on with the Buss family, and will they sell the Lakers, a whole legal battle and whatnot.
And then also we're going to talk about the MLB Division Standings as well as the WNBA part.
Yep.
But then don't forget about the massive college breakdown we're going to talk about, right? Debating the new college swim league. Most of you probably not have heard about this. This is brand new, something that's starting in 30 days. We'll talk more about that, right? And then we're going to kick into the war of the gridiron. We're going to talk Big Ten, SEC.
Big Ten, the best.
Yeah, we'll see about that, right? And then we'll touch a little bit on the BMW Championship as that's wrapping up and all that stuff. So,
Yep. All right, well, going to it, you're going to start first with the Green Bay Packers.
let's go. All right, so Green Bay Packers. This is going to be good, right? So, not much change for them. Well, let me they still have Matt LaFleur, great head coach. He's been there for a while. He's doing all the right things, right? They hired a new defense coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, right? So he's come in now. He's got a really different philosophy than what was before, right? They were really much about last year, this single high cover three that they ran, right? And he's a very aggressive defense coordinator. He does this too high safety shell where it's really supposed to confuse the quarterback pre-snap and then even post-snap because he doesn't know which way the guys are going. And so I'm really excited about seeing how his defense is. Now, I am a little concerned that Micah's not there to start this. New concept, new defense. So that makes me a little concerned. I don't think Micah's coming back until like week 5 or week 6, but we'll move on. So last year, actually, let me start one step back again. Offense coordinator, he's been there. Adam Stanatovic, he's been there since 2022, so much not changing for the offense in that regards. He's there. He knows the system. He's been playing with Jordan Love for a few years now. I would say the big thing in offense that has changed, I guess 2 things, right, for the offense. Losing Romeo Doubs, that was a big loss, right? That was for sure a big loss. Going to have some people step up this year as his absence.
Losing your number wide one wide receiver is never.
One's going to take that step this year. I can see it. But the
or
other
even
part,
Watson.
Or even Watson, right? But I think the bigger part for me is Josh Jacobs. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure you heard, there's a potential suspension out there for him. Adam Schefter recently reported that he thinks it's going to come out at any time and that it will be before the season. Now we're running out of time with the before the season part as we're going into we're finishing week 2 of the preseason now. So Josh Jacobs, when you go back and you look at like instances that people have had off the field, it's like a 6-game suspension typically.
That's huge.
That's a lot. That's huge to overcome.
And on that note, Puka Nacua too.
Well, yeah, Puka, but different scenario. We're not talking about Puka. We're talking about Green Bay.
I just said on.
But yeah, same type of deal. So that's really concerning for the office, right? So again, let's talk about what it looked like last year because a lot of the same pieces. They were one of the better teams, 16th. They're middle of the road in the offense. They had a solid offense. They had a really good defense at 11. Thing, again, scares me about, obviously it's going to be a much different defense this year with Gannon there. But they were on a roll last year, right? They were really rocking and rolling until Micah got hurt. And when you look at that, I think their last 3 or 4 games, it was either 3 or 4, they lost every game once Micah went out. Yeah. And then they lost in the first round of the playoffs last year. So again, Micah not being there to start, new defense and all that, I don't know, what it would look like. They ended at 9-7-1 last year. I hate the one tie thing.
It should just be like baseball where you go on.
It's got to go on. But, this is a much more physical sport than baseball. So that's why they look at it that way. But anyway, so the Josh Jacobs piece, really concerning. They do have this back, Marshawn Lloyd. He's been in the league. This is his 3rd year, I believe, in the league. He's had a lot of injuries and some other things go on. Just more physical stuff the first 2 years. He worked with a specialist this past offseason about soft tissue and how to make it stronger and stuff. So we'll see. He's looked great in the preseason so far. Obviously, he's not Josh Jacobs. He's much more of a speed back where Josh Jacobs is a power back. Josh Jacobs is a really reliable receiver downfield. This guy's a much better route runner than Josh Jacobs. So, hey, maybe get some more downfield stuff with him than you would if you had Josh in. But again, he's still, his timing and his vision still need to improve a little bit from college. So we'll see about that. But with all that being said, right, Mike is going to not be back for a while. We don't know about Josh Jacobs. Let me get into a win-loss, okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. Week 1 at Minnesota. That's a win. Week 2 at the New York Jets. I don't think I need to say it, but I will. That's a win. Then we go on the road. I'm sorry. They're both on the road. I'm sorry. Both of those games, week 1 and 2, are on the road. So it's at the Vikings, at the Jets. First home game is Atlanta. That is a win. So they win 3 in a row to start.
Yep.
Then they go on the road down to Tampa. That's a loss for them in Tampa. I know you don't agree with that, but I'm telling you. Then they come back home. They take on the Bears, which he's going to talk about in a minute. And that's a win for the Green Bay Packers.
I agree with that.
Okay? So that's a win in week 5 against them. Then they have the Cowboys at home. I think they beat the Cowboys at home. They then at Detroit in week 7. That's a loss in Detroit. Going to Carolina, week 8. That's a win. Week 9 at New England. That's a win. I know you don't agree with that one either. That's too bad. It's a win. Then Minnesota, at home Minnesota. Now they beat Minnesota in week 1. Week 10, they beat Minnesota again, this time at home.
Yeah.
So they're going into their bye in week 11 at 8-2. Let me back up for 1 second because I forgot something. In that week 5 and 6, that's when Micah should be coming back. So we're hoping he's back for week 6 for him to go against the Cowboys. You know my saying, sack Dak. That's what Micah's going to do in that one. So he should be back for that game, right? Well, let's get back into it. After the bye, they get the Rams in L.A. That's a loss.
Thank you.
Then they go to New Orleans. That's a win. Then they come back home. They play the Buffalo Bills. It's a loss. Then they go back at home again. They're still at home. They get the Dolphins. That's a win. Then they go to Chicago on Christmas Day. Christmas Day game. Packers have unbelievable history on Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day and the holidays. But that is a loss. You're right. It is a loss. Then they end up with Houston winning Week 18 against Detroit. That will be for the division at home. That's a W. So what does that all mean at the end of this? They are 12-5 at the end. They are NFC North champions. Let me say it again in case you didn't hear. The Green Bay Packers end up 12-5, NFC North champions. So that means, one last thing, that means take the over in the win total for them. Their win total 9.5. I think the same thing as the Bears.
Same thing as the Bears.
9.5. Take the over. Green Bay, NFC champions.
All right.
NFC North champions. Sorry, not NFC champions.
I think Detroit's going to win the division, bouncing back from that terrible year they had last year. I think they went like 9-8 or something.
Okay, so?
I think Green Bay is going to be 11-6.
I didn't ask you. I want you to talk about the Bears.
I'm
Leave
just
my
saying.
12-5 alone.
I'm just saying.
Okay, let's go.
All
Get
right.
to the Bears.
Obviously, the Bears retaining head coach Ben Johnson after winning the NFC North and making it to the conference championships, not getting
Bounced
kicked
in the
out.
first round.
Yeah.
Sorry. Get a lot of
And then Press Taylor, new offensive coordinator from the Jaguars. Jaguars offensive coordinator. Obviously,
Jaguars, great offensive coordinator, huh? Okay.
the offense is better than the defense.
Okay, that's not saying a whole lot for them. But anyways, Jaguars, okay, great. You're excited about the new coordinator for the Jaguars. I get it.
Whatever.
Mhm.
But Ben Johnson still is calling the plays.
He's calling the play, so it doesn't matter.
And then Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator,
Great defense coordinator.
come in, former Saints and Raiders head coach.
Yep.
I don't think he did really good as a head coach, but
He's a great defense coordinator.
great defense.
Yep.
Last year, the record was 11-6, obviously. NFC North champions.
I heard you.
Yep. And then lost in divisional round to Rams. Caleb, Mickey Mouse, and then Bears just choked at the end.
Uh-huh.
Signed safety Kobe Bryant on a $40 million deal. But they lost 8 defensive starters to free agency.
8.
And they lost DJ Moore to the Bills.
So let's stop for a second. I think one of the things about the Bears last year and this great defense they had, right? What did they do last year in defense? They led the league in takeaways.
Yes, but they were 29th total defense.
But they led the league. That's how bad their defense was. Even leading the league in turnovers, they were still 29th. But you don't project them to be leading the league in turnovers, especially when you lose 8 starters. No? Okay. And losing DJ Moore. I think you heard us talk about this last week. He's playing with Josh now. Whoa. He's got a real quarterback to throw to him now.
He's
Watch
never
this.
had someone to throw like that. He is sad. He's been in Chicago and Carolina.
Yeah, it's tough.
Nobody like Josh.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, obviously we said projected win totals 9.5. Now, we're going to jump right into that. Week 1 going to Carolina, I think that's a W.
Okay.
Week 2 in Chicago versus the Vikings, that's a W.
Okay.
Week 3, Philly comes into Chicago, and that's a loss.
That's a Monday Night Football game. That's a loss, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then, Jets, I don't have to say anything.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
W.
W.
Whatever. And then, they go into Green Bay, and they lose.
Really? Okay.
I agree with you, and you're like, really?
I know. Just you have more losses already than I thought you might. Okay, keep going.
And then, week 6, going into Atlanta, that's a W.
That's okay.
And then, New England comes in, that's a loss.
That's ridiculous.
No.
New England's not going to come in
No.
in October
No.
and beat Chicago
No.
in Chicago. All right, keep going.
All right, and then they go into Seattle, that's a loss, whatever.
Monday Night Football game, so they lose.
Yeah, Seattle. And then, in Chicago versus the Bucks, that's a W.
Okay, so now we're in week 10. That's their bye.
Week 10's their bye.
So they have them sitting at 5-4. Nothing special. 5-4.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, and then in Chicago, right off the bye versus the Saints, that's a W.
Okay.
And then they go into Detroit, Thanksgiving game, and they lose.
And they lose. Okay.
And then versus the Jaguars come into Chicago, and that's a loss.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And then in Miami, that's a W.
Okay.
They go into Buffalo, and they lose.
Okay.
And then they end the season off with a 3-game winning streak. In Chicago versus the Packers, in Chicago versus the Lions, and in Minnesota.
Wow. So that's 3 division games at the end. They're going to win all of them.
Yep.
Wow. So they're going to end what?
10-7. Take the over 9.5. Obviously, there's some games that could be wrong.
What's everything? It's a prediction. This is what your prediction.
Yeah.
Don't try to cover it up by I might be wrong. Here's the deal: 10-7.
Yep.
Do they make the playoffs?
I believe they're gonna sneak in there.
Sneak in there. Okay. At 10-7. So let's talk for a second. 10-7. Okay. Who's better than them? Who's getting in? Rams are getting in.
Seahawks.
Okay. Who else?
Eagles,
Eagles will get in. Okay.
Lions.
Okay, because you're thinking they're winning the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cowboys. I think they're gonna
They're
sneak
going
in
to
there.
sneak in. Okay.
Packers.
Well, they're 12-5. Okay. And then the division or the South.
Colts.
It's gotta be the Colts.
Well,
Or Tampa. I don't know, whoever. But one of the division leader. That division leader is going to get in.
Yeah.
That's 7 teams. That's
the
it.
only
There's no
the only
spot.
thing I'm shaky about is probably Eagles. Eagles or Packers.
Well, Eagles. So do you not think who's winning division? Eagles or the Cowboys? Wait, are we going over that next week?
Yeah.
All right, let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk.
Let's not talk about that.
We're gonna do the Eagles. And
All right, so
Cowboys.
10-7. You think they make the playoffs?
Yep.
Chicago Bears 10-7. They make the playoffs. They lose more this year. They make the playoffs.
Yep.
Take the win total of 9.5. Take it over.
Yep. Take it over.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for that. So listen, please comment on us. Tell us. Tell me I'm right. Tell me he's wrong. I know. I get it. That's what's going to happen. But leave any kind of comments, thoughts about
12
a
and
prediction.
5 is just not gonna happen.
I'm telling you, Jordan Love's going to have a year to watch. All right. Let's get into the next piece. Let's talk about this Lakers and Jeannie Buss and the family and what's going on here. Oh, it's tough because 5 of the 6 siblings voted that they should sell this with this what they call this tag-along provision, that if it's being sold, you can tag along and sell your piece to it. And so they all said they want to do it. It's $12.5 billion valuation that they're selling at.
Yep.
The family owns 17.8%. And why that percentage is important, because if they fall below 15%, Jeannie can't be the governor anymore by NBA rules. So they need to have that portion. So anyways, when this is going on, all of a sudden Jeannie finds out, and she's like, I'm the governor. You can't do this without me saying yes. So became a big deal. I just focus on this 15% because I think that's the piece for her where she's like, it's really important. That's why I think she's talking to some of the other minority artists to see if they're interested in possibly selling. I don't think there's been much take on that because she walks away. Like when she did this deal with Mark Walters to begin with, the guy who owns the Dodgers and all that stuff, the deal was they keep that percentage, and for 5 years she continues to be the governor. Well, now with this new deal, they lose that percentage. Well, she can't be the governor anymore. So That 15% stake staying over that and her being the governor is a big deal. Listen, it's in the court's hands now, right?
Yep.
Jeannie, like ownership instantly drops if it sells, and then would force her out as being the governor. And I mean,
Yep.
there's so many. I can't believe this is going on like 6 weeks before camp opens up for the NBA
It's
teams.
not a good
right?
look.
It's not a good look. Like Luke is out in
Slovenia.
Slovenia with the team. He has all the boys out there. They're doing stuff. They're kind of gelling as a team, and that's great. But how do you think Rob Pelinka feels? Like if Jeannie's not the governor, who says he's the president of basketball operations?
Yeah.
How do you think JJ Redick feels if this all happens? Is he still the coach? I don't know. It's not a great thing, and it's not typically something you would see going on with the Lakers. But listen, money. So,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think they shouldn't sell it. Obviously the Lakers are just gonna grow bigger. Hopefully, Luka, Austin,
Yeah.
and Kessler, their new addition.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they get far this year, win championship. But the question I do have for you
Yeah.
is legacy versus cash.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good decision to sell out, or do you think it's a betrayal if Dr. Jerry Buss is a lifelong legacy?
Listen, I get the money part. I do, and I think there's concern with this new ownership group coming in that they might end up getting pushed out eventually too. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe that's the thinking. So you could say, well, let's go out gracefully. Let's go out on our own, like, kind of merit. But no matter what I think, and it's really hard for me growing up being a Lakers fan my whole life, the Buss family has always been part of the Lakers. So for me, I think this is, and I think that's what Dr. Jerry Buss wanted when he passed away. So I don't believe this is a smart money thing. I think they're betraying Dr. Jerry Buss's lifelong legacy of the Buss family owning that Lakers team.
I absolutely agree with you.
You agree? Wow, we agree. Doesn't happen often, but it happens every once in a while. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little baseball. Division, it's getting tighter and tighter. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the season. Listen, I think for me, the interesting one is the American League West, this sub 500. Like right now, it's the Astros. Yeah, it's the Astros, and they're leading one game above 500. Like, are they really going to get a spot? And it's not even the fact that they get a spot. The fact is, they'd be like the number 3 seed in the playoff bracket with the 500 or maybe less than 500 record. So
Listen,
I don't know. Do they deserve a top 3 spot?
yeah, listen. There's give or take 5 teams in each division.
Yeah.
If you're better than those 4 teams, you absolutely deserve a spot.
I don't know. And this isn't the only sport it happens in. It happens in football. The NFC South or whatever happens all the time where they're just barely getting in or under 500 and they get in and get in the playoffs. So I know it happens. It's a weird thing to see. And we'll see. We have this other piece now with the White Sox. Can they hold on? If they hit a losing streak, what happens? They lose and they fall out of that top spot of their division. Like, it could change the whole, like, Central could get switched around, change the whole playoff picture. So there's a lot there. What about you? What's going on in your mind as we kind of wrap up MLB here?
Dodgers, they're a little shaky. I say that, and they're second in the National League and second overall.
Right.
I say shaky.
But they haven't had a good month of August.
No.
They haven't.
They're 2 games behind Milwaukee. Milwaukee outstanding.
Yeah.
80 and 49 right now.
They look good. But I think the Dodgers, right? Think about this. So School pitched last night, right? I think it was his 3rd start for the Dodgers. And he got beat up a little in the first inning. I think he let 3 earned runs. And everyone was like, oh my God, has he just lost it? Then he came out in the second inning, like 2nd through 7. I think he ended up pitching 7 or maybe 6 2/3, something like that. And he blew them away. They didn't touch it again. I think he had 11 strikeouts for He looked amazing by the end of that. And then secondly, I've heard Shohei, like, is he starting to throw a little bit more? Are they thinking about bringing him back as a pitcher? Can you imagine going into the playoffs and your number 1 or 2 starter, I don't care, put him in any order you want, is Shohei and Skubal?
No.
That's whatever happens in August. I agree with you. It's been a bad August for him. It hasn't looked good. It's like in poker. You get a chip in a chair. As long as they're in the playoffs, they're going to be the one to beat.
Yeah.
They're going to be the one to beat.
And then Cardinals trade everybody away. Veterans, including Dustin May, Jojo Romero, Lars Nootbaar. They've gone 11-6.
They forgot that they're supposed to lose. When you sell everything off, you're supposed to lose. They forgot that.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on something. That when you said, oh, Mets are projected to lose 95 games, I think they're gonna lose 100. They've gone on a streak since then, like 10-5 or something.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit. They've been well above 500. They have, right? And so I get it. For a couple of weeks, they're playing well. Listen, the Mets don't deserve to be talked about, really.
No.
Their biggest accomplishment of the whole year is Mrs.
Mrs.
Met
Met.
going into the Mascot Hall of Fame, right? That's the best thing they've done all year.
Yeah.
So, listen, Soto's still out. Lindor, he hits sometimes, he doesn't. McLean, can he get past the sixth inning? Like, there's so many issues right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to end, and whatever it is, whether it's 90 losses, 95 or 100, I don't care. They're not making the playoffs again. They have the second highest payroll behind the Dodgers. Like, listen, David Stern, let's see what he does in this offseason.
Yeah.
Because all the levers that were pulled this offseason were a disaster. Anyways, listen, we're not talking about the Mets anymore.
Nope.
We're talking about teams that made the playoffs, that are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They don't belong in
And
that
actually have a
conversation.
chance.
Correct. All right. I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's get into the WNBA.
All right. Well, first of all, obviously, can the Aces repeat? They are sitting at third right now. Teams 1 through 5 have all clinched playoffs berths, but teams 3, 4, and 5, including Aces,
Yep.
Dream and Fever, just keep swapping.
Every
They
week.
can't hold a place.
Yeah. They've been flipping around the whole year, back and forth. And this is where I go back to it. I know we've talked about this. I still think, right, they have 6 or 7 games left, right? That loss last night that the Fever had against the Liberty, not taking anything away from the Liberty, they played really good. But the fact that they shot 45% or whatever, 48% for the free throw line, how can you be a playoff championship type of team and shoot like that in on the line? And this isn't the first time they lost a game because of free throws either. So that makes me worried. In their defense, again, I know they've scored 100 points a bunch of times. And I know their record is pretty good at doing that. I think they're 11-4 when they score 100 or 12-5, something like that. But I don't have any faith in their defense. I really don't. I can't see them winning. I'm going to stick to what I said.
Just a little defense.
I'm going to stick what I say. Minnesota's the best team. Minnesota's going to win the WNBA championship.
Well, technically, you're going to stick to what
I
you
changed.
said.
When I first said I said the Fever. That was an emotional piece that I shouldn't have said. Minnesota's the best team. They're going to win it. Your pick is still
The Aces.
the Aces. You think they're going to three-peat?
Again, like you said with the Dodgers, you got chip in the chair.
Yeah, no.
And
And listen, when you have Asia Wilson, it's like having Scooble or Shohei. Like, you have this play. Like, so I get it. Like, they could be there, right? Let's talk. You might not making the sucking sound while we're taping here?
it moved.
Jesus.
The
so
straw moved.
Yeah. FIBA. I hate this. I love that we're doing it, this
Yeah.
FIBA World Basketball.
Yeah.
And all the ladies are going to be part of it, like the top WNBA. But the fact of they're going to almost end the season, right? So they'll be, at the end of this month, basically, I think the 28th or 29th, it's the last game for the W. Then they go away for 3 weeks, I believe it is, to go do this FIBA World Cup. Then they come back, they play 4 more regular season games, and then they get into the playoffs. It's just really odd. And I know there probably wasn't a best time to do this, but I don't know. It just seems like they should have did it in the middle of the year, like during All-Star break time, took off more, or wait until the season's over. But to do this, like when you're making that final push in the playoffs, and then it's like, no, hold on, let's go do FIBA tournament, and then come back and rev up again, and let's get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, let's play 2 games.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me. What else? Anything else?
Obviously,
You wanna cover the W?
Angel Reese, career high 31 points, 14 rebounds. She clinches the
They clinched the playoffs.
clinched playoffs over Phoenix, which isn't much of a brag, but
It's about
still,
the whole year. They clinched the playoffs. That's great, right?
doesn't matter.
No.
If you clinch playoffs, you clinch playoffs.
In the last piece, though, you're forgetting something. So I will make sure we bring it up here.
Okay, I'll get into it.
Were you getting into it? All right, go ahead. I'll let you say it.
All right.
It's a big deal.
Kelsey Mitchell continues her streak of 20-plus points per game, 22 straight games, WNBA record.
Never been done before. It's amazing. She broke the record that Asia had, but Asia's was split over 2 years at that 20.
Yep.
This has all been this year, Kelsey. 22 and counting. Like, she's playing unbelievably. She really is. She's a scoring machine. She really is. That's why people have her in conversations about the MVP, and I couldn't really argue with them. She's playing that well. So, okay, let's get into the next piece. College sports. You want to start us off?
All right. Well, as we said in the intro, College Swimming League just coming on. Historic debut. Hopefully it brings a little more attention to swimming.
Yeah, I think the I think this is a great idea. Again, it's all college swimmers from a bunch of different schools, Alabama and Illinois, and I think there's 12 of them, right? North Carolina State,
Indiana, Virginia.
Yeah, there's a bunch, right? And so I think it's great. I think they're trying to do, if some people 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, the ISL, the International Swim League, they're trying to mimic that. The problem with that one, it was all over the world and it came out at different times, and so it was a little interesting. Difficult to watch. But this one,
it was called the International.
Correct. No, I get it. This one I think should be really interesting. All these college swimmers, great college swimmers, having it in a league format, right? So it's going to be versus for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the league. Then they're going to have a wild card round, and then they're going to have a championship. And so I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to draw some more attention. It will be on ESPN Unlimited on most of the weeks. Yep. Again, I'll go back to something. If ESPN is going to now be the one showing these events, do you think we can get something on the app about swimming? What do you think?
Maybe. Right? It'll probably just be about the events. It won't have like when you go to sports. I don't think it'll have a thing for swimming. I think it'll just be on events.
It's got to be there. But anyways, ESPN.
Maybe
you know how I feel.
Maybe you'll have like the league, college swimming league, or
they need to have something.
Something.
But here's my only question about it. Right? Do you believe that this format, and it looks pretty cool. I'm worried about the time because they're going to be going up against college football and football because it starts in September. And goes through, like,
hockey.
Yeah, I don't know if the timing could be different, but anyways, with that, do you believe that this format's going to bring like more excitement, more attention to college swimming, kind of like what wrestling has done the last few years?
Oh, I mean, I hope so. I think it would be a big step forward if ESPN puts it on their damn app.
Okay, we know that.
But anyways, yeah, I think
you feel good about it.
Yeah, if anybody, obviously has ESPN Unlimited, there's a chance no sports on, because I think it's going to be in the middle of the week too, which is...
I think it's a Thursday, Friday, most of them, I think.
Yeah, which isn't the best.
No, it's kind of odd, but whatever. They got to start
anybody's somewhere. On ESPN to watch, seeing what they're going to watch, they stumble upon it. They say these people, there's a cool swimming league out there, just started.
Yeah.
All the colleges.
I think it's going to be successful. So ESPN Unlimited is for here in the U.S. They just announced a deal with Danzin. Danzin's going to be the distributor of all the events internationally all around the world.
What's Danzin?
Danzin's another streaming. DAZN. They do a lot of UFC and boxing and stuff. Anyways, keep up on your stuff. Anyways, so we'll see. We're excited to see it. It starts September 24th, 25th. So let's see. All right, let's get into the gridiron.
Yep.
Let's have this conversation about which one of these SEC Big Ten. All right. So listen, undisputed king of depth. That's the SEC, right? There are no easy weeks, right? They're playing this gruesome schedule against each other. These 9 teams. We have 9 teams in the preseason AP poll, top 25 poll that just came out, right?
Yep.
5 of the top 10 are SEC teams. Our schedules are harder, right? This is the first year we're going to have 9 conference games. Everyone in division has to play a Power 4 team or Notre Dame. We are tested more strongly than any other division in college sports, and the committee sees it, and that's why they ranked us where we are. So I think that all this stuff about who's this, who's that, it's not about what have you done for me lately. It's about the consistency of what the SEC's done for 10 to 15 years, and they will continue with that consistency, and they are the best division in college football.
All right. Well, I don't care about your 5 out of top 10 whatever stuff. Let me give you a fact from last.
Okay, give me a fact.
12 out of the top 25 teams ranked were not ranked at the end of the season. Like
the preseason
ranks
weren't there at the end. They weren't even ranked at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And
that could go both ways.
If you're forgetting, the Big Ten won the last 3 natties.
That's true. That's true.
Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana.
Yeah, that's true.
And is going for a 4th. But we'll get on that later.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then for the first time in 65 years, 2 Big Ten teams are being ranked 1 and 2, Ohio State and Oregon. And
but just like you said, it might not matter what they're... Let's see what happens at the end. Are they going to be 1 and 2 at the end? I don't think so, but okay.
All right, and for the first time since 2015, not a single SEC team received a first place vote. Not even a single vote.
Yeah, no, that's tough. But let's see where we end up. So with that being said, so obviously you believe the Big Ten is stronger division. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Thank God for real football. Because come, like, September 12th, that week,
Yeah.
big games, SEC against Big Ten. First, we got Oklahoma against Michigan. Oklahoma wins that game. Knocks out another Big Ten team.
I agree with that.
The same week, we have Ohio State, Texas.
Ohio State wins that.
They're at Texas.
I don't care.
I don't know. I think Manning might have a different opinion about what he thinks is going to happen.
If you remember last year, Ohio State also went into Texas and whooped them. It wasn't even close.
Manning was just getting going.
I don't care.
Wait to see how we ended the year? Anyways, so lots to come with it. The great thing is that we're going to see this and we're going to be able to prove it on the field in the next couple of weeks. And then at that time, you'll be able to say, hey, you know what? Dad was right. The other guy made a good, we get it, but he wasn't right. I was.
Yeah, okay.
And so with that,
I just want to say one more thing.
leave us some comments about it. Let's see who wins this debate. Who do you think, SEC or Big Ten?
Big Ten.
It's SEC, but
Well, all right. I just want to say one more thing.
what's that?
The Big Ten is also 9-3 in Power 4 college football playoff football games, and the SEC is 2-7.
It's been a rough year or two, right? But this is about the longevity of the division. So we'll see. We'll get to see it. Starting September 12th, we'll get to see it. But you know what? All that talk, SEC, Big Ten, I know who's going to win the national championship.
Who? Here come the Irish!
That's right. Notre Dame goes 12-0, rolls to the playoffs, and beats Ohio State in the championship. That's my prediction. So anyways, say it again. Irish, 12-0, beat Ohio State in the championship. Marcus Freeman gets his championship. CJ Carr goes, wins the Heisman. It's going to be a killer year for the Irish.
Hopefully Marcus Freeman doesn't leave, but
Let's not put that out in the air just yet.
You've said it multiple times, so I don't want
want
to hear it from you.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's wrap up with the BMW Championship, right? Second of the third events for the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
Wyndham Clark did it. He almost choked. Yeah, he had a little bit of roughing. McElroy was up there tied, but he did it when it counted on the last, I think he birdied 16, 17, 18. Took it, so he moves on now. They go to East Lake next week for the whole kit and caboodle. The winner wins $10 million.
Yeah.
And so, listen, that's the end. So the people who weren't top 30 today out of FedEx points,
Bye-bye.
they get to go home. They get to go on vacation.
Goodbye.
The rest of them, so I know we'll see Schefter there. We'll see Rory there. Obviously, we'll see Clark there. So $10 million to the winner. That's
a lot.
no joke. But last thing I'll say, because we thought Schefter was going to be there at the end here, but we found out today, I think it just came out, he was really sick during this whole run up to this weekend into the tournament. He had hand, foot, mouth disease or whatever. So his hands hurt him those first couple of days. He could barely grip the club. So crazy for him to even be in the tournament. But anyways,
He was just so stubborn he didn't want
yeah, no, and I get it. Anyway, so congratulations to Wyndham Clark. Let's see what goes on. He has a chance to be golfer of the year with that win. We'll see what happens. If he can win next week, it's going to be an interesting conversation between him and Schefter, who's the golfer of the year. So, what else?
Well, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Say what you thought about this week's podcast, how I was right.
Tell me that I
How I
loved the
was
conversation
right. I
about
was
the
right.
SEC.
I was
Put
right.
comments about my predictions on the SEC.
I was right. We're closing on 50 subscribers, and expect a fantasy football episode coming out on Wednesday about my top wide receivers.
All right.
Well, one more last thing to say. If you don't love yourself, nobody will. Peace.
Bye.